Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record. State your name for the record.
Gospel Carol,
All right, why didn't you show up for court?
because I have some problems.
We all have problems, but you're not telling me what your problems were.
Well, first of all, my daughter had her baby, but I came up with I was sick too, so my corona.
Everybody used coronavirus as an excuse, but did you provide any medical documentation that you had that?
Yeah, I do. I have that.
No. Did you provide any medical documentation to the court that you were ill?
I think I did. I should have. Do you have any?
I do not. Not for the date you're addressing, Judge.
Yes. So you did not. Because if you would have, I would have that. And I don't have it.
So you don't have any paperwork at all?
I don't have anything to show that you were ill, and that's the reason why you didn't show up for your sentencing. I do have that I was lenient with you to allow you to get your affairs in order and to come back on a different date for sentencing. That's what I have. So why shouldn't I sentence you to beyond the 2 years? Because that's your agreement. Your agreement is if you don't show up for sentencing, you are subject to the full range of punishment. So my question to you is, why shouldn't I sentence you to 20 years?
Say that again.
Your agreement was that if you did not show up for your sentencing date, that your range of punishment will be up to 20 years in prison. You did not show up. So the question is, why shouldn't I send you to prison for 20 years?
I most definitely didn't understand that one.
No, you did, because it's a part of your plea bargaining agreement. And what I can tell you, and I'm sure your counsel will tell you this, and even though this is a new prosecutor to this court, I go over the plea bargaining agreement in great detail and ask on the record, do you understand that to be the plea bargaining agreement? And usually, well, not usually, every time I ask the defendant first, do you understand that to be the plea bargaining agreement? And they will say yes. Then I will either ask the state of the defense attorney, is that the plea bargaining agreement? And I can tell you that you were aware that you were subject to the entire range of punishment. So we're back to this. Why shouldn't I sentence you to 20 years? Because that was your bargain, that if you didn't show up for court, that you will be subject to the full range of punishment. And I remember all of the people who say, give me some extra time and I will show up.
What was going on with your daughter? Yeah, I mean, she have a baby next month or whatever, you know what I mean? But I don't think.
What do you mean she has her baby next month? You told me she already had the baby.
No. She went in the hospital. She was sick. I thought that she wasn't gonna even, that she was gonna lose the baby or whatever, you know what I mean?
And when did this happen?
Oh, brilliant. So your daughter might have had a baby, you maybe were sick, and somehow the court was just supposed to read your mind and forgive your absence? No paperwork, no call, not even a decent lie to back it up. But sure, let's all just pretend the plea agreement was optional and the judge is running a daycare, not a courtroom. Honestly, with excuses this sloppy, 20 years might be generous.
Like last month.
All right, so that happened last month, so that would have been January. So that still doesn't explain why you didn't show up for your sentencing on November. You were set for sentencing on November 3rd. Here's the thing. Sometimes people don't have an excuse. Sometimes it's like, I made a bad decision. I was enjoying my free life out here and I just didn't show up. So I'm trying to figure out, is that your case or is there something else that was going on in your life? Because you're looking at 20 years in prison.
That he doesn't have an excuse that we want to offer at this time. He does. I mean, I agree with the court. You did admonish him. He understood that. I'm concerned. I mean, as we stand here today, he's not near as cognizant of I've dealt with as he's been in the past. I'm somewhat concerned about that, but I mean, he's not a man of means. When that November date came, his phone was cut off. We were not able to locate him. I mean, he didn't. I mean, I know I spoke to him after that when his daughter was sick. But we'd ask you not to sentence him to 20 years. We don't think that's, we hope that that's not what the court decides to do, but if the court decides, we ask the court to follow the plea bargain and perhaps give him 3 years to, have an indicator that the court takes this seriously. And
All right, state.
In lieu of the explanation of the judge, the state, with previous negotiations that they have in our file, we believe the appropriate sentence would be 5 years.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court will sentence you to 4 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served, take in consideration 2021 CR 2207, 2021 CR 1465, 2021 CR 2771. The court will give you credit for any time served. There's a $500 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
that's your signature.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to your attorney. Do you understand? We can go off the record. Mr. Carroll, I always, when attorneys say, can you give my client some extra time to report? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I take it very seriously when I give someone time to report, because when you think about it, somebody's saying, all right, I'm going to show up and I'm going to take my prison sentence. You didn't show up. And that's a problem. And if there would have been a good explanation, things may have turned out differently.
I don't even remember.
Oh, so now last month's drama is supposed to explain vanishing in November? Genius level time travel excuses aside, at least the court finally heard some honesty. No fancy excuses, just a disappearing act with a dead phone and zero accountability. But sure, let's all clap for the plea deal miracle where 20 years magically turns into 4, just because the judge still has a shred of patience. Honestly, that was mercy dressed as a sentence.
All right, so you can have them have a seat. They're supposed to impact. There's not?
No,
All right, thank you.
Judge, sorry, we're just going to go ahead and surpass that because.
All right, thank you. And then there's a request for no broadcasting. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. So the court has read the defense's motion, and what I can tell the defense is, number one, the court limits the number of people in the courtroom for security reasons, also for health reasons. I think everybody is aware of the brawl, for want of a better word, brawl, skirmish, or whatever that occurred in the other courtroom. As everybody is aware, there are only a limited number of deputies. I have 2 deputies in this courtroom, and we almost had another incident here today that I think would have turned quite differently if the courtroom were packed. The court must have an open courtroom to the public, and that is how the courtroom is keeping it open to the public. So I read your motion, and that motion is denied.
Your Honor, may I make a little bit of a record on that?
Sure.
Okay. And so Ms. Schnitz has some specific things that have affected her as a result of the broadcast over YouTube. And specifically, Your Honor, the open courts, one, we don't think that you need to close the courtroom to non-participants. So we object to the closing of the courtroom, which we were just made aware of this morning. So we have that objection. We think the courtroom should be open to live audience members. Ms. Schnitz is in a very particular situation. She's in a custody battle at the time, currently. And her ex-husband monitors these YouTube videos. He saves them and broadcasts her information to her friends and family and uses it in her child custody case. Additionally, Your Honor, sorry, I'm going to have Ms. Schnitz speak to that if she could.
Sure. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Shelley, Shelley Schnitz.
All right, thank you. You may question.
Are you concerned about being broadcast on YouTube?
Yes, I'm very concerned.
And can you tell the court why?
I'm very concerned because my ex-husband, the husband of my daughter, who is,
I'm sorry, the father of your daughter?
oh, the father, I'm sorry, has been, he is being investigated currently for abuse of her sexual assault and numerous counts, a very, very serious situation. And he is using the YouTube videos and he's explained that in emails to watch what is happening on court to find the location of my daughter. And I'm sorry.
So also, he would come in person before, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And now he knows where you are because he can watch the broadcast. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
I mean, yes, sir.
Okay. And when you additionally, you've had to talk about your treatment situation. You're addressing your alcohol issue. We've had to do that in open court previously. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And has he recorded those to your knowledge?
Yes, he records those as well.
And he lets other people know who are involved in your case?
Yes, he lets over 20 people know and places it on social media and sends it out.
Okay, and that's everywhere from Governor Abbott to Joe Gonzalez to everybody that is also the principal of your daughter's school. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so at this point, you're left with a choice of either terminating these proceedings by entering a guilty plea or continuing to be broadcast on YouTube.
Yes,
Okay, and that's the choice that you're currently facing. Is that right?
yes.
All right. Do you want to be broadcast on YouTube?
No, sir. It's
Oh, sure. Let's just shut down the entire courtroom's openness because someone's ex can't keep their obsession in check. While we're at it, maybe the judge should install curtains, cancel trials, and start holding secret hearings in broom closets. Because clearly, the best way to handle public safety, limited deputies, and legal transparency is to let every personal drama dictate court policy. Thankfully, someone in the room is thinking like a judge and not running a soap opera.
very scary for me, terrifying.
No, that's all right. I have no further
Any
questions.
questions?
Nothing to say, Judge.
All right, and the court will state again, everyone is aware of the brawl, skirmish, whatever you want to call it, that took place in this courthouse recently. No less than, I think, 10 deputies or maybe more were summoned. There was a fight in the jury box where audience members came from the audience and attacked someone, and I will use the word allegedly, but I think everybody is aware of it. An inmate that was in the box. We just had what could have been a bad incident in this court today where deputies had to step in and escort somebody out of this courtroom. This is a court that needs to be open to the public. I am not going to allow people in the courtroom for safety reasons. I'm not allowing people in the courtroom unless they are a defendant, a person accused, or unless they are a witness, and those witnesses will be brought in when they are needed. The state will tell you, and other persons in this courtroom will tell you, anyone who is given victim impact, they can come in when it's time for them to give victim impact. But that is the way this courtroom will be run. So for security issues, we only have 2 deputies in a courtroom, and we have a third, I'm sorry, sort of a third. And I say third because he's wearing his jacket, right? But he's not assigned to this courtroom. So when you think about it, right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in the box. And really, normally only 2 deputies, and sometimes we have 10 people in the box. So the motion is denied, and we're going to come back
And Your Honor,
on December 12th.
just one other question. Could you admonish people not to record the broadcast?
Oh, people, I am not in charge of broadcasting.
But so what
So-
happens is people will capture, like they'll capture this event, they'll put it on other platforms.
And what I can tell you, counsel, is in this courtroom with your client, I have never asked, nobody's ever asked, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Nobody's ever asked what school her child is at or asked any of that nature. With regards to a civil case, that's something that needs to be addressed civilly. This is a criminal court.
But what happens, Your Honor, and the problem is that this is now, the YouTube broadcast is as much an official record as the court reporters.
No, it's not. The court reporter's record is the official record. I made my ruling. You all are coming back on December 12th. On December 12th, I expect everyone to have their discovery in order. If there's more time that's needed to look at a vehicle, let the court know. If there's some issues with the blood, let the court know before the December 12th setting. All right, Ernest Morales.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we be excused?
Yes, you may be excused after you sign the reset form.
Thank you very much.
Ah, yes, because obviously the judge controls YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and probably Elon Musk's next tweet, too. Forget safety protocols, deputy shortages, and full-on courtroom brawls. What really matters is someone's ex misusing public broadcasts. But hey, the judge must have missed the memo that this courtroom is now a privacy lounge with live stream filters. Good thing someone's still running an actual court here, not a reality show audition.